2. Where the truth lies. I don't see much as coincidence anymore, now that I see some try to use the world as a stage. Some of the behavior mentioned in this essay may be obviously deplorable and may seem like they don't need to be mentioned as unjust or wrong. First of all, we do this to spread light on the tactics being used against people, and almost everyone will try to find justification for their acts. So we should examine at least if it measures up. I think we all know at least one habitual liar. Eventually, if you don't drown them out, you treat them like entertainment. But what is a lie? If you say something happened already and it didn't, it's a lie. But if you say something is going to be like this or like that, but it's not, is that a lie or intentional well-wishing? It depends on your intention. What did you mean by it? Not only does your intent matter, but how you portray your attention to others if that's what you're doing. It's a fine line between lying and wishing. But if you're wishing, you do it with conviction and intent on belief, so it may come off as a lie to some. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The Bible claims the world was spoken into existence. The Illuminati must believe it because their number one weapon is subliminal messages, spells, and any media type program to manipulate this dream matrix type world. For the ultimate truth, don't look to TV, most music, and the main sites on the internet. Although you may find tidbits of truth in media, religion, and more on YouTube and other independent media outlets that come close to complete truth, but I have seen and heard snares placed in some presentations. All you need to know is we are immortal, eternal beings of consciousness with powers to create and shape our world. Mostly everything after that is made up. Just because something is made up doesn't make it a lie necessarily. We know television sitcoms are made up, movies and plays are made up, but it's entertainment for us and we know it. It starts to become a lie when it's portrayed to an unsuspecting audience as real, like a prank or crisis scenario test. We also have TV shows that do this. YouTube pranks, MTV's Punked, and hidden camera shows like What Would You Do, Candid Camera, I don't watch much TV anymore, and any new reality show, because I'm sure most of that is scripted. They show something for entertainment or testing purposes, depicted as real to add thrill value to the onlookers. But worst of all, they do these theatrics in the streets to send subliminal messages to people to try to create their ends. Worst being destruction of the person or manipulation of their target's acts. They try to use psychological cause and effect knowledge to harm and control others, but some are immune to it. If it's scripted and controlled, then it's fake to a degree. When people are acting out a script, it's a lie to portray it as real.
As you probably know, actors are an essential part of What Would You Do? But have you ever wondered what it takes to do their job? We take you behind the scenes this week's gay adoption scenario to show you.
Dan, you can sit there. David, you can sit there.
This has been a dream of ours for a long time.
We actually get some of our best lines from the actors organically in the casting room. Awesome, thanks for coming in.
The worst part is, some are controlled on a higher level, and some don't even know it. So they are unwitting actors for themselves and others to see. Illuminated spirits use some to act out scenarios all across the board, in sports, work, politics, just about anywhere on earth. When we are aware of this, then we break free. You hear of fake news all the time. Basically, conspiracies that are played out to the public as a random coincidental story from natural causes an outright lie or hyperbole. The moves may have been ordered like moving pieces on a chessboard with only one player controlling both sides. If you don't believe in conspiracies, just look at flash mobs. Groups of people show up at a predetermined spot to put on a dancing show for an unsuspecting public. That's all fine and dandy, nothing wrong with entertainment. But what about when the show is a terrorist attack, or to harass and stalk someone they don't like? That's when people aren't smiling anymore. That's when it goes beyond a lie. This is more to do with the game that is being played on humanity, and I will discuss this in a chapter to come. Now that we know we will always remember what we are and where we came from, we now see the whole world was lying to us. If we take it as entertainment, then okay. But many have been brought up to think this world is all there is and all it is, with no knowledge of self, buying into the dream of the planet. The death lie, the lie of limitations, the lie of origin. All this propaganda is only to keep the ones who buy into it in a perpetual state of control. But can you blame someone for speaking a thought that someone else fell for, whether blatantly or not? If you were responsible for reducing their knowledge and recycling them, then yes, you are wrong. Then even if you know someone's spirit is in a vulnerable state, you are responsible for what you teach them. Example: would you tell a mentally challenged kid to jump into a fire? It may seem common sense to you, but that kid might not know better. You'd probably be held responsible for that and punished by natural world standards. People feel that if you agree to it, now it's your truth, because truth is relative to belief. The one who brought the dream may be happy and seem satisfied, and that may make the one who sold the dream feel justified. If you know we all had and have great powers, and have been oppressed and subjected, and you don't state that, but do state something that will keep one oppressed, especially with that intention, then you are wrong. But one gives the vision of others' abnormal powers by agreement. You can deny it, but some things don't work like that without a spiritual transformation. Meaning, we live in this reality with others and have a common belief to a set order. We are all seeing the same, smelling the same, basically sensing the same particular things. Your reaction, positive or negative, is the only other variable. For a parallel to what I'm talking about, study quantum mechanics or the God particle. It behaves in a preconceived manner when observed, but can do anything apart from view. These particles are believed to be the fabric of life. I'm sure you could put two and two together. Why is the lie stated so much more than the rare truth? Even when you go to places to seek the truth, like religion, they tell you the truth subliminally and in riddles, but the lie is presented all over. They use the lie to try to make you feel guilty and control you while hiding the truth from you. But you must be strong and assured of the truth, not gullible and naive. This is also the message they try to get across as a test to make you fit and adaptive to spiritual life. That sounds good, but does it justify lying? No. Knowing the truth would make people more assured of it. And if they feel this so-called test, they aren't given the truth. At least not while alive in the flesh, so it's harmful to life. Why can't things just occur naturally if we choose to live on Earth or wherever. The same as we thought it did when we were unenlightened. Does every move have to be ordered like a chess game, with one individual seemingly being the only X factor? It doesn't seem as though everyone is playing their character how they wish. Even people that join the Illuminati, although they may be enlightened, seem to follow an agenda perceivably under duress at times. When people are told to live a certain way and acquiesce, that's like living a lie. Three, I spy. Don't read this section if you think you would like to play games like the Hunger Games with the Illuminati, and if you think you may join them. My job isn't to make you hate the enlightened secret group, but to lay the facts in hopes you and the Illuminati will act responsibly with the truth and power. Snowden said we were being spied on through recorded phone calls and video surveillance. Well, if you think that's bad, fact is you may be watched every minute you breathe. Not with cameras and high-tech government equipment, but with telepathy, spiritual means, and spirits that may be inhabiting your person. Believe it or not, this takes place on a spiritual level. But if you don't believe it, I hope it doesn't affect you. If you feel you have a right to privacy, and you do, then believe that. But many may look at this as a heaven-sent gift and would love to be a part of it. Most would, as long as you are truly a part of it and not just subject to it. Other than that, it's like you're an underling or an object of amusement to beings you are as capable as.